Welcome in, everybody. It is the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close, and I got to tell you, sometimes technology is not the smoothest, right? So, as you can see, I am operating under a different environment right now, and it appears that yeah, we're gonna turn that down. So my setup's a little bit different, and sometimes it's not as smooth. Um, it's not as smooth using just my laptop. So, hey, by the way, before I talk about myself, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's week is ending on a good note. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Was able to relax a little bit. We're going to get into some of the price action that has developed this week. Actually, I haven't had as much an opportunity this weekend to assess the price action. So, I just pulled up a few charts and was kind of assessing everything. This will really, and I was telling someone else, this is really going to provide me an opportunity to assess what's going on this weekend, how the week is closing out, as much as it's going to help you out, hopefully, and allow you to assess how the week is closing out to give a realistic, logical, unemotional perspective. And I hope you appreciate that. If you do appreciate that, hit the thumbs up button. Ding ding! Don't have my little money symbol thing to hit, so I can't do that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment. As you guys know, there's always a live TA Q&A segment, not a TNA segment. A live TA Q&A segment that we're going to go through. But no, what I was going to say was that, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate it, though. It helps the channel out. What I was going to say is typically when I do these live streams, I'm live streaming from my home office. I do work from home full time, and I stream from my home office. And the setup's a lot nicer, right? I think I still have a lot of things that I could do to make the streaming process a lot smoother for myself, get better equipment. But the point is, I have two monitors, right? And I have a camera, a decent camera, and all this stuff. So I'm streaming from one screen, which is the most challenging thing. So I have the live chat on my phone here that I can watch. What's up, Ugos? What's up, my brother? So I can watch the live chat and still able to assess the charts just on this one screen. So a little handicap, but you know what? I've been put under worse circumstances. So we're going to figure this shit out. So I hope everyone's been having a nice week. Let's get into the charts here. I don't want to waste any more time. Actually, before we get into that, allow me to take one brief moment and say that you can find me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I do a lot of chart analysis on Twitter. You can find me on there. You can find me on TradingView. You can find me, obviously, on YouTube. And you can even find me, oh yeah, I'm just seeing this photo here. The cream of the crop must rise to the top. The cryptocurrency market is unjustifiably in the position that it'd rather not be in. But the cream of the crop shall rise to the top. Anyway, you can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at CryptoBullGodDeal. I do a lot of gym stuff on there for motivation, help other people out. Hey, Smudger, thank you for tuning in. I see you drop me a comment here. You'll check this out tomorrow late here and too tired to, hey, brother, I feel you. And I feel pretty tired myself. I'm kind of excited to go to bed at this point. But I'm also excited to be here with you as well, which is why I'm doing this. And I want to assess what's going on with the charts. Like I said, I have not had as much time this weekend to do as much technical analysis as I normally would. So this will really provide me an opportunity to take an honest assessment of where the week is closing out. Ding, ding, ding. I wish I had a dinger. Ding, ding, ding. The weekend just closed. We have a weekend candle we're going to take a look at. A weekly close we're going to take a look at. We have a 2-week candlestick we're going to take a look at. And if it makes sense, we'll look at a 10-day. You guys know if you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time that the 10-day candlestick is something I also like to take a look at. But the nice thing about this weekly close is not only do we have a weekly close, we also have a 2-weekly close candlestick coming up here. So we're going to take a look at both. So let's first assess the Bitcoin chart. This is not what we like to see. Okay, guys, this is not what we like to see. Look what's going on here. Take this off auto scale. You can see, focus on the blue line here. You see, let's not even talk about the black line. That's more of a macro perspective descending line of resistance. You can see at 20,000, roughly 600, 700. We're all the way down here in the low $16,000 area. okay? And as I said, quite frankly, we're in an area right now I did not think we would be in. So all we're doing right now, look at this. You know, taking an honest assessment of what's going on just based on the USD chart of Bitcoin. We've had a massive drop, a little bit of a consolidation, massive drop, a little bit of consolidation, massive drop, and now we're consolidating a little. We need, guys, it's real simple. I can't paint it any more simplistic than this. We need to break the pattern of the lower lows, okay, the lower lows and the lower highs here. I mean, we need to first off break this descending resistance. And you know on the weekly, look, if you've been here, okay, and if you follow other value-added technicians in this space, you know that 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart is critical. That is the pink line here. Look how far below the 200 weekly moving average is, okay? The 200 weekly moving average is sitting at about 24,000. Look how far below we are. We're about 32, let's call it 33% below the 200 weekly moving average, okay? Not a pretty thing to see, all right? Now, I don't want to paint just a negative picture. However, I'm painting a very realistic picture based on this one chart, too. We're going to tie everything together here. I have a lot of charts up here we're going to walk through. But when I just look at the weekly, this is not the price action I wanted to see. You see this candlestick right here? Look at this. Real thin body, a little bit of wick action going on this this week here. You can see right here. Not what I wanted to see. Really what I wanted to see was a green body come up here and make some progress, pushing up towards maybe 18,000. We're nowhere near there right now. We're at 16,200. Let's see. The other thing I want to look at on the weekly scale, again, mind you guys, I haven't had a lot of chance to assess this chart. Let's just focus on the MACD, because one of the things, guys, I wanted to see is this MACD begin to curl up. Now, as you can see, if we just focus on the MACD, the zero, ultimately what we want on the weekly, okay, we want this MACD, this signal indicator, the blue line, to cross above zero. You can see we're pretty well below it, but we're still positive, which is good to see. That's good to see. We haven't, what would have made it worse on this chart is if we saw a negative cross and we saw these green bars turn to red and the blue one below the orange on the MACD, that signal line. That's not what we're seeing. So that is good to see. But now let's take a look at the 2-week chart. Remember, we got a print on the 2-week candlestick. Where are we sitting? Okay, let's take off the moving averages for the time being. Let's take a look at price indicators. Now again, you know, something a lot more bullish that would have been nice to see. Okay, we just printed a brand new candlestick. Look at the MACD here. If we had in these 2 weeks, okay, let me just paint the picture for you. In these 2 weeks, if we had a more bullish sort of setting in the crypto environment and Bitcoin had a little bit more positive development in the price, this MACD more than likely would have crossed up. Okay, at the very least, it would have been neutral, and you could have seen it begin to cross. Now we're still. Now, don't get me wrong. The MACD is flattening out. That's good. That's more of a bullish sign that it's flattening out, and we're not getting as much of a steep decline like we've seen here. Right? You see it flattening out. I want to see a cross though. Okay, the past 2 weeks have done nothing bullish for the MACD. Let me repeat that. The past 2 weeks of price action on Bitcoin has done nothing bullish for the MACD. We need to see Bitcoin step the fuck up, get some bullish price action in the market so we can get a bullish cross here. Because ultimately, one of the things I'm really going to be watching for on the 2-week chart on Bitcoin, it's not just the price action, okay? There's also price indicators, and we want to assess based on the price indicators and historically what has signified. We want to watch for certain clues that we could be seeing a change in momentum, okay? One of the things will be a cross here, but not just a cross. We don't just want a positive cross. Wow, my mouse is not working. My apologies. We don't just want a positive cross right here, okay? That's step one. Step two is this zero line is all the way up here, okay? So we need a cross and a move up above zero. There's really 2 steps on the MACD we need to look for. A positive cross and a move above zero, okay? We still have ways to go until we see that on the 2-week chart. If we can get bullish momentum to pick up in the market, in Bitcoin specifically, what could I hypothesize as getting these first 2 steps, these 2 big steps on the 2-week chart in Bitcoin? A cross and getting above zero. Realistically, the way price action is set up right now, it could come as early as January, okay? But in order for that to develop by January, we really need to see price and momentum pick up in the charts. And again, as I've alluded to before, and as I've spoken to before, I do want to sort of level out the conversation here that even though on the weekly and 2-week, price action has not been as encouraging as I would have hoped, okay, as I would have thought, okay. Let's not lose perspective, and I've hit on this in the prior couple of videos, let's not lose perspective holistically on the entire market. I put into too many other charts that are signaling other things, and we're going to get into those momentarily here in a little bit, but there are other charts that are signaling that it is an opportune, massive opportunity to be buying at these price levels, okay? So let's not lose perspective on that. But yeah, the way we closed out on the weekly today, okay, closing at 16,200, not great, okay? And as the thumbnail states, the countdown really does continue. The countdown really does continue because this is the monthly close. And right now, look guys, I mean, how can I say any different? I can be as bullish as I want on fundamentally on crypto. I can be as bullish macro perspective right now. Nothing has changed for me. Nothing in the charts has changed for me that I don't see a fifth wave coming in next year and new all-time highs next year. Nothing has changed. But I'm just saying, looking at this chart right now, there is a thick red body on this monthly candlestick. We cannot have the month close like this. I'm just telling you right now that if our month in November closes anywhere near these levels of 16,200, while nothing is a certainty, to me it massively increases the value that we're going to see stagnation for several months until we finally break 20,000, 19,400, and get continued upside. Okay, we only have 10 days left in this month, and one of the unfortunate things I will say about this upcoming week is that there typically tends to be dried up volume around holidays, right? So it's going to be Thanksgiving. And I actually, I wish I could actually back that up with some historical information. And I didn't think to put that together for today's live stream. So maybe it's something that I can do by the happy hour later this week. But one of the things I should take a look at actually is what does volume and price action typically look like around a Thanksgiving holiday? I would theorize that volume is a lot lower and there's nothing really historical that develops into the price, or significant, I should say. That wouldn't be good for us. We got 10 days left. Can I just show this to you really quick? Okay. We have 10 days, right? Today's the 20th. We have until the 30th. We have this week and then a few days next week. In those 10 days, we better see some significant price action to take us up towards 19,400. Because again, if we close November out at anywhere around these levels of 16,000, that's not leaving me feeling very confident, to be honest. Okay, it doesn't throw out in the short to midterm. It does not leave me feeling very confident. Okay, to be keeping things real here, it doesn't change anything big picture, but in the short to midterm, I lose more confidence in terms of ultimately where I see things kind of turning out next year if November closes at 16,000. That's being honest, okay, with you guys as I always am, right? Nothing is a certainty, but I've spoken to the significance of around 19,400. And if we can get a thinner red body, and something that closes near 19,400, I'm starting to feel it gives me increased confidence, right? And it's challenging because when you're, as a technician, the thing is, guys, when I come to you every week and I'm sharing all these charts with you, there's so many charts that tell us so many different things, right? And every chart sort of has its niche in terms of the significance of what it holds. Higher time frames, like the monthly, tend to hold more weight than a 5-hour chart, right? But I've also spoken to the fact that there's limited price data, right? So smaller time frames like the 12-hour actually does hold historical significance. Then you look at things like data science models, and the data science models, some of them are reaching historically oversold levels that we've never seen before. These things are screaming, buy, 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 buy. This is an awesome time to get in. You look at a monthly chart like this, and it's saying, wow, if we get to close below 19,400, excuse me. We get to close on November below 19,400. We may be under here for 3 to 4 months. We might not be able to get above 20,000 until maybe like the second quarter of 2023, right? So we just have to remain patient. Let's see how November closes out. The monthly chart is not the be-all, end-all, okay? There's plenty of other charts that are saying plenty of other bullish things, but we have to be very level-headed and we have to be realistic and unemotional about the market, right? And there is significance in this monthly chart, okay? And that's why it would leave me feeling a little leery if we get a close significantly below 19,400. It's one thing if we get a close here at 19,000, right? Okay, so we're $400 off. Okay. We get a thick red body like this and we close at 16,000. I'm not feeling great about that. Okay, so something we have to keep an eye on. 12-hour chart. Now, I had drawn out that there is a technical pattern in here that is a bear pennant. Okay. Now we've actually broken. You can see this is the pole, and then this is the pennant. Right. No reason this has to play out, but it is a all these notifications on my laptop. You gotta love that. Gotta love Microsoft. It is while the technical pattern doesn't need to play out, okay, it is a pattern that's very obvious and apparent in the chart, and I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't point it out, okay? This is a bearish pattern. It's a bearish bull pennant, okay? We're starting to break down. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is there's different ways that you can draw this chart, okay? So even though this is a bear pennant, clearly it looks like it's broken down, someone could come in here and they could do something like this, okay? And now we haven't broken the pennant, okay? Another way that I spoke to earlier, you could draw the bear pennant, because this is still ascending here. Another way you could draw the pennant is you could draw a flat ceiling like this and coming down in an upwards trajectory, right? And a flat ceiling. So that's still a bear pennant. Ultimately, guys, what do we need to do? What's the most important thing in the 12-hour chart? Let's get above 17,600. All right, let's get above 17,600. And as I spoke to before, once we can get above ultimately 18,900, these thick areas of prior support that are now resistance, right around 18,700, 18,900. As soon as we can start getting above 18,900, okay, that's a level I'm looking for, a key level. Once we can break above there with volume and stay above it, I'm starting to feel pretty good. So 18,900 is a key level to watch out for. But you want to watch this bear flag, okay? You want to watch this bear flag because the technical target takes us down to $12,000 area, okay? So you definitely don't want that pattern to play out. It's something to keep an eye on. Ethereum, okay, a couple of things to point out on the Ethereum chart. Let me get the comments. I see a few people dropping comments I have not gotten to, and I apologize. Holly, welcome in. Glad to see you. Let's see. Typical Bloody Sunday. Yeah, we've seen a lot of those, right, my friend? We have seen a lot of Bloody Sundays. Welcome in, Shanta. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Shanta. Welcome in. Good evening. It's been a little bit since I've seen you. Thank you for coming back. I'm not sure. Hopefully you've caught the in syndication videos, and maybe perhaps not live, but glad to see you back. And anyone who is new tuning in, welcome. Not sure how many folks here are frequents and how many are new. If you are newer, consider subscribing to the channel if you appreciate the content. Couple things to point out on this chart, okay? Perhaps there's more lines here. I don't think this is an overly complicated chart, but let me explain clearly what's going on. Look at the thick red black lines. You can see we're in a clear down channel, okay? We're in a clear down channel in Ethereum, okay? That's pretty easy to see, right? It does sort of look like you could actually draw this sort of as a broadening wedge. You could actually draw it like this. Broadening wedges are typically, could draw a broadening wedge there, but I'll just keep it as a down channel. Broadening wedges are actually bullish patterns. They tend to break to the upside. But what I would point out on this chart, okay, let's focus in on what's the most important things for Ethereum on this chart. First off, it's expressing more strength than Bitcoin. Now, keep that point in mind, because if we really are in this devastatingly bearish bear market, okay, typically what happens if we really are in a true bear market and not a bearish correction, okay, because I've signaled to you guys nothing has changed in the charts to invalidate the fact that while price action, and I was just telling someone else this the other day, while price action has corrected deeper and has lasted longer than I and many I respect thought, it doesn't change anything within the chart that has invalidated this being a correction, as hard as that is to believe. That this is not a bear market. This is bearish price action in a 5-wave bull cycle. Okay, I understand if you're not a technician, that must be impossible for you to believe because of how emotional you feel, but that is the view that I have on the chart based on just unemotional, logical technicals. Okay, so one of the bullish things to see here, and something you would typically not see in a bear market, is we have higher lows here, okay? This low has not been taken out. You see the uptrend by the blue line? That is very important to keep in mind in the big picture holistically within the market. The King altcoin has not set a new low. It is expressing greater strength than Bitcoin. Nothing has changed about that. This is the weekly view. So that's very pivotal to take away from this chart. Now, this green area of support here around 970, that's currently holding. What I don't like to see in the chart, what I do not like to see, is first off, we broke below about 1200. Okay, this is once again resistance. I'll tell you the other thing I don't like about this chart. I constantly have to flip these lines. I constantly have to edit this chart. I had to edit it right before I came on. Red is resistance, green support. We keep flipping these areas as support and resistance, okay? So I hate coming in here and constantly editing this damn chart and changing the colors from green to red. It's getting a little irritating. So that's another thing I would point out with this chart. But 1200 has once again flipped to resistance. We need to get above 1200 and stay above it, right? Ethereum needs to pick it the fuck up and get above 1200, stay above it. This is our thick region of resistance here around 1400. This was our prior all-time high in the prior cycle way back in January of 2018. We've once again broken down there convincingly. We need to get back above, right? You can even see there's another area of descending resistance here. You could draw it. I would draw it like that, right? So what does price action need to do here? We need to move up, break this, come up, break this, probably back test, and continue up. And we just have to remain patient. But the most critical thing I would point out in this channel, okay, and I'm not even looking at price indicators. I'm not going to spend any time looking at price indicators here. I think the most important thing to me that sticks out about this chart, okay, that is promising and bullish to see and fits in the broader context of my thesis that we are actually still in a bull market and this is a bearish price action, a long extended correction. Ethereum still has a higher low. The low here was set at 1,071, okay? And the low way back here was set at 880, okay? So we're like, I mean, I'm not good with math. I'm an actuary. So I would say that's about 30% above this low here, okay? Now it's going to drive me nuts. Is it about 30%? I got to check this out now because that's going to drive me nuts. I'm a numbers person. I'm a little OCD with numbers. Is it like 30% or a little less? Oh, wow. I have to hand in my actuary card. That was 22%. Far off from 30%. I apologize. I should be fired tomorrow for not being able to do basic arithmetic in my head on the spot. So, actually, some actuaries are horrible with that. Anyway, but I digress like I often do. But anyway, this is the most, this is the number one thing that I would take away from this chart. Beyond price levels we need to take out and sustain and be above, is that we still have higher lows coming in. Okay, that is very good to see. XRP, yes, if you hold XRP like myself, and you've been an investor, XRP loves to just be at 30 cents. The XRP, you know, I find the humor in it. I've been a huge supporter of the project and what Ripple's looking to do, but it doesn't mean that I can't find humor in the price action. So for the people that say XRP is a stable coin and it stays at 30 cents, I see the fucking humor in it. Because once again, we're 36 cents, okay? But we do have this massive uptrend line that's been holding. What would I look for on XRP? There is descending resistance here I could draw, but let's just keep it real simplistic, okay? Let's just look at price action. Okay, price action needs to get above 57 cents. We need to start moving up and getting in this area, right? In this area, okay? Hold 57 cents as support and then start moving up towards like $1.34. I mean, we really need to start making a lot of progress once things pick up. That's what I would watch for. But nothing in this chart is atypical from what I've been seeing in a lot of other charts. Now, a chart that is expressing a lot more weakness would be Cardano. And again, as you can already tell, a lot of the projects I'm going to be sticking to here that I decided that I wanted to chart out for the live stream, absent of any TA Q&A, are some of the majors within the top 10 for the most part. Okay, I want to kind of focus on, because if you think about it, if you can kind of gauge how price action is behaving within sort of the top 10 area, that should be able to sort of level set for you realistically where the market is at, how it's doing, right? So I thought a good perspective to take today, rather than pointing out some obscure coins and some coins people are maybe unfamiliar with or some are familiar with, in looking at some of the micro caps, let's stick to the majors. Okay, let's stick to the majors. Let's see how the price action is doing. That's going to kind of level set us in terms of where the market's at. Okay, this is Cardano. Cardano has been expressing a massive amount of weakness, in my opinion, and it's been expressing greater weakness relative to some of the other projects, including XRP. You can see we're all the way down here at 31 cents. Okay, now you could, in the shorter term here, you could draw this as a falling wedge. Let me see if I draw, actually, on the spot here, if I draw this like this. Yeah, so let me make this a little more apparent for you. But you actually, in the short term, could be seeing a falling wedge play out. Focus on the blue lines, okay? Just focus on the blue lines and tell me that isn't a falling wedge, okay? So we start wider up here, and then we get a little more narrow, right? So we could have a falling wedge. You know, technical target would be like this range here. Maybe we pop up here, back test, and come up. But for the moment, I will say this. There is a potential falling wedge here for Cardano, but outside of the falling wedge, guys, we're breaking key areas of support here. And I wouldn't like to see this as a holder. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a holder of this project. That Cardano guy, Charles Hoskins, whatever, not a fan of that guy, personally. I've kind of spoken to that in the past. Not a fan of Charles, who looks like he could be my uncle. And fun fact, CBG is older than Charles Hoskins. Can't believe that. Dude looks like he could be my fucking uncle. But anyway, there's another area of support. I would draw it right here since we started to break below and express such weakness. I would draw it right about there. Okay, let's not get too cute with price. Remember, zones of support, guys. Zones of support. It's not about getting too cute with price. Interestingly enough, what is price here? Is this 31 cents? Okay, it's 30 cents. If we start to break below 30 cents, I'm just going to tell you right now, there is a possibility. If we break 30 cents, I mean, I see support here. Okay, about 20 cents. Let's not even go below 20 cents. Let's just, let's keep it there. But you could start heading towards the 20 cent area. You know, you could get some mass capitulation wick that goes towards 20 cents if you start to break below 30 cents. You really, as a Cardano holder, you want that 30 cent area to hold. So Cardano, of any of the charts that I was evaluating in the top 10, Cardano is the weakest by far. And if you're a supporter of Cardano, look, I'm not here to hate on any projects in all seriousness. So if you're a holder of Cardano, look, I mean, there's a reason it's in the top 10, right? So clearly it's been a very successful project. And I'm not saying it's falling to 20 cents, but I am being honest in telling you that it's been the weakest of the performers I've looked at. Not that it can't turn around, but I'm just telling you what's in the chart, okay? So this thing needs to start picking up some momentum soon. Trying to make up ground too, because I think it's fallen in market cap dominance as well. Binance, we're hitting up. You can see, I want to kind of focus just on price action. Let's not even look at indicators. I want to consolidate on 2 weeks here. It'll help with price action, make it look even smoother. You can see, what do we have here? Look at this downward resistance. We broke, came back up. We've since back tested it. Now, this here, you could draw this so many different ways. This ascending area of support, you could draw this so many different ways and say, oh, we broke below. I honestly could care less about that. The most important thing, hey guys, if you're a holder of Binance, if you want to assess the strength within the market and use Binance as a heavy proxy for the altcoins, which is a smart thing, given it's the number 3 altcoin, okay? What would I be looking at with this chart? Well, it's very similar to Matic. Keep this in mind. In fact, we'll put that next. This chart, in many ways, is very similar, in my opinion, to Matic. Why is that? Well, the reason is because, keep this in mind when we look at Matic. We have a low, okay, and a higher low, similar to Ethereum, right? Then we had this descending resistance. Well, what happened? And this has happened so many times. Guys, do you remember, there's a video I published on my YouTube channel, and it's something that I've frequently spoken to on my channel, where I talk about, and I spoke to it on Quant, okay, where when descending resistance breaks, what happens is it's often back-tested as support and continues moving up. It's one of the most bullish setups and form of price action that you can see in a chart. What's not bullish is when we break and then re-enter. Okay, we don't want to come down here. But if we break and we retest, which is exactly what it's doing, and then bounces Guys, we're good to go. This is giving you, okay, so long as this support area holds here, this descending region here, so long as this holds, this is giving you the opportunity to buy in at cheaper prices. We went all the way up here to we went up here to $400 basically, and we're right now sitting at 260. This is giving you the opportunity, if this level holds, to buy in at much cheaper prices, all right? 260 relative to 400, I'm going to say that is a 35% discount. Let's check the math on that. Now, I have to make up for before, right? 400 to 260. So if we're like 400 to 260, yeah, it's like 35%. Okay, good. So just want to make sure my math was good there. I had to make up for before. Matic, now keep in mind the commentary that I made before for Binance, right? Matic, what has happened here, guys? Come on, look at this. There was actually broader... I didn't draw this. Let's see. Okay, so we skirted that and broke out. Okay. But let's take a look here. What is going on? Now, we're looking at a weekly. Okay, we're looking at a weekly. First off, low, higher low. Just like Binance. What did I just say? Okay. I sound like my father when I was being scolded as a kid. What did I just say? Didn't say that. What did I just say? CBG. Anyway, descending resistance here, right? Descending resistance. So we broke up and we backtested as support, right? Is this not the same thing we just looked at in this chart, Binance? It's the same damn thing, okay? So obviously 105 is an area that I have expressed we need to break and get above. So it's not bullish we got up here, right up to about 134, which I've indicated prior area of resistance, right? We could expect. It's not bullish that we broke down below 105, but it is bullish that this descending resistance, we've held it as support. That is bullish. So, you know, nothing that isn't bullish in structure here. Again, we're looking at another altcoin. Guys, keep this in mind. This is why I say you can't just look at this chart and as bearish as the price action looks and as dismal as it looks, you have to holistically look at the entire market. We have higher low after higher low. Here, not so much. Okay, but higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Doge! Let's get into Doge. Doge broke out above this descending resistance, but it couldn't hold it. But guess what? Now, this is on a weekly chart. Guess what? What am I about to say? Low, higher low. Okay, so again, you still have to keep it in perspective. Even though we pumped massively in price and went up from 6 cents all the way up to 16 cents. You guys remember that pumping up a few weeks ago. You can't lose perspective, even though we've corrected all the way down to 7.5 cents. We still have these higher lows coming in, okay? But ultimately what we want to do, okay? Ultimately what we want to do is we want to break back above this descending resistance and then start getting back up in this area between 20 and 13 cents. Let's get up here and stay above here so we can continue knocking out areas of resistance at 25.5 and even 45 cents, okay? So that's Doge. Now, I want to take a look at 3 other charts, and then I'm going to, yes, I am definitely over 35, so appreciate the compliment there. But not by much. Okay, so I want to get into 3 other charts, and then I'm going to get to the comments here. And see if anybody has any questions regarding anything that you would like me to chart. Okay, so we're going to take a look at 3 more charts. And I want you to keep in mind, when we look at these 3 charts, and 2 in particular, I continue to hammer home on these charts. And like I said before, it's a good thing if you're tuning into this channel and you're like, I'm really sick of this guy talking about these charts all the time, because these charts need to be ingrained in your head, because the more these charts are ingrained in your head and you conceptually understand why in the big picture they're so important, it will help you to stay grounded and level set you in terms of your view of the market. You're not just coming in here and looking at Bitcoin and saying, oh my God, everything's going down, the world is ending, and crypto's never going to go up again. No, you're looking at some altcoins. You're kind of putting things in perspective about higher lows and what that means and how in prior bear markets, that's not been the story, okay? You're also keeping in mind the dollar index. Guys, The parabola in the dollar index has broken. The reason that is so bullish for crypto is because, again, I'm not giving you my emotional opinion. This is factual information, okay? Even though there may be a lag in recognition, I want to spend a little bit more time in the charts to understand what that lag in recognition looks like when I have time to maybe put out a video on that. But typically, not even typically, historically, every time, let me repeat that. Historically, every time, the dollar has a massive breakdown, okay? There is an inverse relationship between the dollar going down and asset values, the stock market, equities, cryptocurrency going up in value. So as the dollar has corrected, crypto goes up. What happens when the dollar goes on a massive run up and the dollar is gaining strength? Crypto is going down. It's going down. We've had this massive long correction. And I just commented, if you follow me on Twitter at Crypto Bull God, I just commented to you that I have been invested in this market since 2018. This, to me, COVID pales in comparison to me for this, compared to this, okay? COVID, first off, let me speak to the three big corrections that I've been through, okay? In 2018, I, along with very few other people that I saw, very much saw the massive descending triangle in price. So I was very ready for price to break below that 6,200 to 5,800 in Bitcoin. I wasn't shocked by that at all, okay? So nothing took me by surprise there. The beer virus, I would equate that to getting shot with a gun and having Wolverine's healing power. So if you're familiar with Wolverine, okay, the comic book character, he heals very quickly, right? So that was a V-shaped recovery. We got shot, it hurt, it was painful, but that shit healed up real quick, all right? This has been like someone stabbing you with a knife and turning it. It's been bloody horrific. It has been, okay? It's been rough because it's not just the deepness of the correction. For me, what has felt worse, okay, the reason this correction has been so brutal is the length of time. It's the length of time. It's been so lengthy if you look at the correction, okay? But what has been going on during this period of time, okay? The dollar has been appreciating massively in value, this huge parabolic curve, right? That parabolic curve has broken down. So I'm trying to tell you guys that even though things are painful right now and price has not turned around, and we look at this chart and say, I don't like it, we look at this chart and say we have 10 days left, we better do something bullish, this chart is telling you, hello, I'm correcting massively in value, and typically when this happens, crypto and assets go up, okay? So this is one chart to keep an eye on. We're right in between that 108 to 105 region, okay? Just as I suspected. We broke below 108. We're hovering around 105. I'm waiting for 105 to break. The next major region on the DXY would be 101, okay? And a psychological level around 100. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. How many times I have on my Twitter profile, okay, if you go to my Twitter profile, what is pinned on my profile since August 8th? We're sitting here 3.5 months later, and I've been speaking to a massive descending triangle on Bitcoin dominance, okay, a massive bear flag. And I'm going to let you guys watch the video. You can check it out on my channel. I've explained it too many times. But historically what happens is if you have a massive drop-off in Bitcoin dominance, as this pattern suggests, it's not that Bitcoin is necessarily correcting. It's just that Bitcoin is typically, when you have a massive breakdown, Bitcoin is actually appreciating in value. It's actually going up. The USD value is going up, but altcoins are just running so much harder that they gobble up market share. So the dominance of Bitcoin, as it represents a share of the market, actually market share or market cap, actually goes down. So the USD value goes up, but its percentage of the market cap actually drops because altcoins are gobbling it up and growing it massively more in value. Okay, that makes sense. Total, nothing new here to share. Let's look at the, okay, good. We did not get a cross down. That's good to see. This is on the weekly. I was watching this MACD. I did not want to see this cross down. That is very good to see. So we still have on the weekly, this is the total cryptocurrency market cap. Sorry, guys. This is the entire market, okay? So what is encouraging here, if we just focus on the MACD for a moment, is we've had this cross up. We don't want to see this thing cross back down. Okay? We do not want to see this cross back down. This is still positive. It's still very good to see. We still have a lot of room to run, though. We still have a lot of ground to make up to get above zero. Okay, this thing's going to take This is going to take many, many more weeks until we can get above zero, but this is very, very, very encouraging. If we go to the 2-week, let's see what we're looking at on the 2 weeks, since we got a 2-week candlestick close. Okay, this is not what I wanted to see. Even though, let me explain this. Even though we saw a sharp decline and we've sort of leveled out, I wanted this 2-week candlestick to be a lot more bullish, such that we would level out even more and get real close to a cross. Now, this is, you see the red here? This is descending. Okay, what that means is the weakness is starting to fade off in the back, which is good, which is very bullish. That is very bullish. But it would have been a lot more bullish, okay, if this 2-week candlestick had printed a lot more favorable and a thick red body, because this MACD would have either crossed or been really close to cross, okay? The main thing to focus on, beyond, I would focus on the MACD on this chart, and also the stochastic RSI. I should look at the stochastic RSI with you guys. I'm sure there's levels on the RSI itself, but I haven't looked into it. Stochastic RSI looks healthy at the moment. It does look very healthy. Let's look at the weekly. Oh, wow. We are at oversold territories, which is actually good on the stochastic RSI. I mean, we're at zero here, body. You can't get any lower than that. So a lot of room to run on the weekly. That's good to see. Okay, so the major thing to watch here is that we still have this. What is this pattern, guys? What do you see here? This is real wide, and then it gets narrowed down here. Okay, this is a massive falling wedge. Okay, massive falling wedge. And if we actually just take a look at the technical target, okay, for this, all right, let's look at the technical target. Technical target, and what you do is you measure the gap up here, okay, but you take it from the point, you take this arrow, you bring it over here. If we broke out here, you put it here. If we break out here, all the way down here, you break it here. So let's say we break out around like the first week of February. That puts our technical target all the way up here, and that's just an initial target. That doesn't mean that's the top of the ultimate price movement on this chart, but this is just an initial target that would take us up over $3 trillion, okay? We're sitting at we're sitting at about close to 800 billion right now, so still under $1 trillion, but this would take us over $3 trillion. And if $3 trillion sounds like a lot to you, consider the fact, the last time I looked, and you can spot check me on this, I'm not sure how accurate this currently is, but Apple's market cap is around $2 trillion. So Apple, a phone company, and I know it's more than a phone company, but come on. I mean, this is the main thing, right? Everybody gets a fucking phone. So it's a phone company and it's worth $2 trillion. So all the altcoins, or the entire market cap for crypto going up to $3 trillion plus is not far-fetched quite a bit. But the other thing to keep in mind here is beyond the falling wedge, guys. Come on, all we've done, look at this big green horizontal bar here. This horizontal bar, as I've spoken to in the past, just represents the prior all-time high region. We couldn't sustain prices above this level. We temporarily peaked out here in January of 2018, nearly 5 years ago. So we got up to this level, mass euphoria, and crashed hard, okay? We have since gone well above. Keep things in perspective. We have since gone well above that area. We have come down and we have just grazed it and tested it as support. That's massively bullish. So again, there's nothing alarming here, nothing since we've closed out this candlestick that has me concerned. The only thing I would have liked to have seen would have been that 2-week candlestick to close out more favorable so that the MACD would have been in a better position on the 2-week chart. But outside of that, I'm fine with how things are looking on the total cryptocurrency market cap. So let's get into comments. And let's see what Q&A questions people have. Not TNA. We're not doing TNA on this channel. We're doing Q&A. Let's see what we got here. So Steady is saying, can we look at the total too? Absolutely, we can look at the total too. So just to let you know, the only reason I didn't look at it was because it's going to be the same sort of setup as the total 3. So total 2, for everyone's benefit who is unfamiliar, total 2 is the entire cryptocurrency market stripping out Bitcoin, okay? So it's basically all the altcoins, and it does include Ethereum as well. All right, let me see what we got here. So this is a 2-week chart. Golden zone. This is the golden zone I pointed out before that I said I'm totally comfortable with price action being in this golden zone. A drop below the golden zone would be a no-no. We don't want that to happen. But the golden zone is not bad because, again, if we go back in time, why am I okay with this? This zone here is this. This is where we peaked out in January of 2018, 5 years ago. So if we exceeded it massively and we've come down and back tested as support and continue moving up, what is so bearish about that? It might feel bearish because the correction's been so long, but actually it's massively bullish in the chart to come down, back test this as support, and continue moving higher. You can also see here, again, this is very well displayed on the 2-week chart. Guys, this is a falling wedge, right? This is not so obvious. Check this out. Especially if I go in on this angle here, you can really appreciate it. This is extremely wide here, right? This price action is very wide up here. And then you can see it starts to narrow down in here. Look how thin that is. So we're getting this sort of fall. That was horrible. We're getting this. Let me draw that again. We're getting this falling wedge sort of price action, right? So this would be a bullish potential pattern that would play to the upside once again. So this is on the 2-week. Let's take a closer look at some of the indicators to see what we're looking at here. Stochastic RSI looks very healthy. RSI is at a neutral oversold level at 38. Again, same sort of thing as on the total. I want to see this thing, start to cross. I wish we would have seen more bullish price action on the 2-week candlestick close, but we did not. That's the only thing that I don't like about this chart at the moment. On the weekly, let's take a look at the weekly. We have to change this to red since we're below. Got a cross down, which is not good. We're right at zero, bottoming out. The only real bullish thing about that, similar to the other chart, would be that there's a lot of room to run up. MACD is still positive. That's good to see. We're not getting a cross down. That's very good to see. And again, RSI is oversold. It's at 35, so there's a lot of room to the upside. And steady, what I would say is let's simplify things on this chart. I mean, really the main thing is, guys, I have the red lines drawn out here. You need to start getting above this red line at 475. You need to get above this line at 600 and this line at 700 and break the broader sort of descending resistance drawn here. Now, this was drawn on a 2-week chart. That's why it's through candle bodies here. If I had drawn this chart on this time frame, this is invalid. You can't draw a pattern where the line's going through the candle bodies. That's not valid. But if we go whoop whoop and we change time frames to whoop whoop, those are my special sound effects, to a 2-week time frame, you can see it goes through the wicks and not the bodies, right? So that's why it's valid. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I hope you found that helpful, Steady. Okay, we have a question on near. Do that. Mute? Am I on mute? I hope I'm not on mute. No, I'm not on mute. Okay. Oh, okay. Your buzz went dead. Two small caps to watch. Okay, let's take these one by one here. Good questions, appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at near protocol. I think I have a chart saved for this one. I think I do. No, I don't. Fuck. I'm gonna have to draw this one out. All right, that's cool. We'll take a look here. Near suggestions for an exchange. I want to get as much price data as I can. How about Binance? No, that looks good. Let's do one more. Let's do KuCoin, maybe. Oops. Apologies, KuCoin. Nah, we're gonna do Binance. Let's take a look at near protocol. Now, to me, this one looks like it has enough price action to actually look at the weekly. So, oh, this is fucking beautiful. I mean, you gotta love like price confluence and when it works out perfectly. So, what's beautiful on this chart? I mean, look at this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Actually, did you know that rocket scientists? That's a saying. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Actually, being a rocket scientist isn't really that technical from what I've read. So I don't know why people came up with that expression, but it is what it is, I guess. So this is a line of confluence right here. Look at this wick all the way down at 150. We're going to call it 155. Look where price action is right now. We're at 155. So right now, we're holding this green area of support. That's beautiful. If we break 155, where do I see price going? let's go to a 3-day. Let's try to get, because anytime, now one of the things to keep in mind, when I start to actually go on a lower time frame like this, like a 3-day, it's going to give me more areas of price confluence. There's just more candlesticks, right? So if 155 breaks, I'd like to see 155 hold, okay? If 155 breaks, I could see about 140, okay? If 140 breaks, I could see, well, dollar's a psychological level, but there's a price level in between there. Ah, beautiful. Oh, yeah, right there. So how about this? This is what I would do if I was in near protocol, okay? We have just backtested 155. Now, the most bullish thing would be for this 155 area to hold. You can see it's already starting to go below at 154 here. But my next levels here, ultimately, I would hope for this to hold. But if it doesn't, you know, when I say hope, just to be clear, when I say I hope this holds, the point is that you know, to be as bullish as possible in terms of key levels of support holding so that things pick up sooner rather than later. But in the grand scheme of things, if you can get it at cheaper levels, I mean, hell, you know, if this thing's going to dip further, you know, you have strong conviction of the project, other key areas that I'd be looking for would be 140 and 130. I mean, those are the next levels. I mean, if we start breaking down below 130, let's revisit the level, but there's still quite a ways to go until we get there. So near protocol, I'd want to see this 150 range hold. Okay, it's starting to dip below 155. But the next levels I would watch for would be around 141, 130. Now, thank you for the question, Effie. Good to see you back, by the way, brother. I know it's been a little, no, it hasn't been a little bit. What am I saying? You've been here pretty consistently, which I appreciate. It's interesting, like you get to know some of the people on here that you chat with. I see a lot of regulars, which I really appreciate. All right, so Holly has a good question here. She's asking me which. Okay, it's specific too. 2 small caps to watch. Now, what would those be? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot that I've spoken to, but you know what I would keep an eye on, and what I took profits on, but I might get back into, just like a smaller term play. Fan tokens. Okay. These fan tokens are really starting to pick up. Yeah, Porto came down a lot. We were up at that $7 region. I would take a look at some of these smaller. So, Holly, my suggestion to you: research some of these fan tokens: Alpine, Lazio, Santos, and Porto. Okay, now these are all fan tokens. The reason that I have these ones here in particular, you can get them through Binance US, which is my preferred exchange. Actually, I think I have a link. I don't think I have a link in my live stream. I don't think I put that in there. I'll have to check. But I've actually recently became an affiliate for them. So I have a link on there that you guys can use. But that is my go-to exchange. I try to avoid Coinbase. I don't really use Coinbase. Don't really use too many other exchanges. Mexi, been using some Mexi. But Binance US has been my preferred. But anyway, these 4 you can find on there. How about some other ones, though? Let me give you, besides these 4 fan tokens, other ones that I would keep an eye on, really under here. Keep an eye on Reef, and keep an eye on Injective Protocol. Okay? I would keep an eye on those 2. Yeah, I would keep an eye on those 2. So, Holly, again, just as a recap, I'm giving you more than you asked for. So I would keep an eye on the fan tokens I mentioned, and then I would keep an eye on Reef Chain and Injective Protocol, ticker symbol REEF and ticker symbol INJ, ones that I have covered on this channel quite a bit. Any other TA-related questions? I will take one more. If there's anything that anyone would like me to chart out, I can chart it out. If not, we can call it a night. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other videos I wanted to get out this week. I'm going to have to find the time to do it. I wanted to at least get one published video out before Thanksgiving. And then I have to figure out when to do the happy hour because honestly, it's a short week. So I'm going to have to figure out when I'm doing the happy hour. I really don't know what day I'm going to be doing it this week. It might be a little bit of a challenge to get it out there, but I'll definitely be doing a published video this week. So keep your eyes out for that. Yearn Finance, huh? Nafi has a question on Yearn Finance. All right, this is going to be the last one I'm going to chart out. You know, I have not looked at that one in a long time, and I think I have a chart, but it was like way back. No, I don't. Really? I know I've charted it before. Yearn Finance is one that I have not looked at in a long time. Good question. I'm actually curious to chart this one because I have not evaluated it in a while. Man, having an issue right now with chapped lips. I'm not in South Florida, and the temperatures are quite a bit different, and the lips are getting quite chapped. Yeah, not used to that. Keep licking the lips. A little chap. Let's see here. Perfecto. Look at that. Is this good? Yeah, this is good. Yearn Finance. I want to go down to... well, we're still creating the higher lows, which is really good to see. So Neffy, the first thing I would point out, brother, is that you see this? This is really good to see. You know, like on Near Protocol, this is not what we were seeing, right? Near Protocol has been printing new lows, right? Now, what's good to see, similar to Ethereum, similar to Binance, similar to Matic, similar to XRP, similar to Doge, I said Ethereum, we have higher lows, right? Very, very, very good to see. Don't lose perspective on that, all right? Because that's very, very healthy to see. The next thing I would point out on this chart, we definitely, without question, have some descending resistance. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could point to descending resistance. You could do it like this. That's a big, big level of descending resistance. The other one I would personally be looking at in the shorter term to begin to feel convicted that there could start to be a turnaround in price. Look at this. Look at these touches here. Touch, 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 touch. Got 4 touches there. So this is another one I would be looking at. Okay. How about areas of resistance and areas of support? Let's talk a little bit about that. So there is definitely a level of support without question. Nope. Wrong. Darn it. Oh. Fucking trading view. This is what happens when you go live and you make these mistakes live with everybody watching you. The pressure is on. I feel so much pressure right now. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. The beads of sweat are just rolling off of me right now. Not really. Honestly, not one bit. All right, so you can see we have an area of... Now, why did I draw this like this? The reason I drew it like this, and I mean, there's zones. I mean, you can draw it. Couple key points to keep in mind for areas. Oof, that is nasty. Let's get it on green. What happened there? A couple key points to keep in mind if you guys are charting something and you're learning to chart something. How do you actually draw areas of support like this? Like, how did I actually come up with this? Well, this first region, you can see it's a candle body, and then you also see, so there's 2 touches there with candle bodies, which holds a lot of weight, okay, when you're drawing support. But then you have a wick here, a wick here, a wick here. So you have touches there. Chances are, no, there's nothing back there. Okay, so that's why on the first one. The second one, why did I draw it here? Well, I started it here instead of here because you have a touch here, and then you have more touches here. Touchy, touchy. All right, so you got like 4 touches, right? Touchy, touchy. And then where would I draw other areas of support? Again, keeping with the candle body theme, right around there. And I'd actually pick it here just because that was our all-time low, right? So you got a lot of areas of support here. Okay, we are currently on Yearn Finance. Okay, ticker symbol YFI. We're currently sitting at 6,164. I have areas of resistance between 5,700 and 5,400. Then I have another area of support at 4,800 and another one at 4,000. So we have a lot of support in here. Okay, that's what I would focus on. How about resistance? Well, this one sticks out plain as day. Okay, this one's very easy to see. We have an area right around 8,300. Okay, how did I draw that? Wick. Actually, I can draw this a little. I would draw it like that. Okay, so 8230. So a wick, body, body, wick, wick, wick. Body, kind of in it though, in the body, but wick, wick, wick. Okay, so lots of price confluence, even price confluence here and just about there. So I would say, okay, when I'm looking at this chart and I'm trying to assess where we might encounter some resistance on this chart, I'm looking at this descending area of resistance here, and I'm looking around $82 to $8,300. So we could come up here, anything in this zone right in here, that's a nasty circle. I'm sorry, I suck at art, and it's very hard to draw with this mouse. But you can see there's some descending line here that holds significance, and then around $82, $8,300, right? So I would anticipate we get some resistance here. Now, bullish, okay, a bullish break, okay, a bullish break would be getting above here, and what have I often said? Back test this area of support, and then continue moving up. Continue moving up and test this area right here because this, again, holds significance. Okay, so that's what I would look for. I'll give you one more area of resistance. One more area of resistance to watch for because I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. We have quite a bit of ways to clear here. I'll give you that area around 1240. And then the next obvious area would be clearing this prior high at 14,200, it looks like. So right around 1240 and 14,200 is the next area I would look for. I am not, and thank you for the question, Neffy. I am not familiar with harmonic TA. Did you ask me this before? Somebody asked me about this. Or I don't think you asked me a question. I think you said you'd be utilizing it. I'll have to look it up. I have no idea what harmonic TA means. I have no idea. But I'll look it up. I mean, you've piqued my curiosity because I love technical analysis, so I don't know what harmonic TA is. All right, everyone. I'm going to close things out. We've been here for just over an hour. So I'm going to let you guys go. But thank you for everyone tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon for notifications. If you have clicked it in the past, you might want to try unclicking the bell and re-clicking it because sometimes YouTube causes issues with notifications. So unclicking it and clicking it again could help you out. Make sure to drop a comment if you appreciate the content. Like I said, I will be at least publishing one video this week. And also, did want to give you a heads up before you tune out real quick. The next Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close will not be next Sunday. I will actually be traveling. So I'll be traveling actually back to South Florida. So I will not be available Sunday, but I will be dead-ass tired on Monday in the evening. And after work on Monday, I will do the sort of the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close. We'll assess the weekly charts like this. We'll do it on Monday. And I got to tell you, quite frankly, I think some of these weeks moving forward, I will choose to do the weekly close on Monday instead of Sunday. I think some weeks it's nice to do it on Monday. Gives a little different of a perspective after you have another full day after the week has closed out. But for sure next week, I'll be doing the weekly close on Monday over Sunday. So I hope everyone appreciated the content. If you did, share it with at least one person. Until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Now, watch me awkwardly close out this live stream as I have to click through several things because I have one screen.